Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Shema with the prepping team. Today we will be learning about the life-saving skill of foraging for edible plants. A lot of times in nature, when we're outside, we're not even aware that there's things around us that we can eat that can sustain us in times of famine or food shortages. We'll be dealing with that life-saving skill today, and hopefully everybody learns something from it. All right, let's go. All right, everybody, so, hey, check this out. This is our first example, our first plant, completely edible, that could help you or save your life. So if you come down here, you look with all these purple flowers, this is wild violet, all right? Easily identified by its heart-shaped leaves. It's got a heart-shaped leaf, all right? And they get a little bit bigger than this as well. But also an easy way to identify them is with their purple flowers. A lot of times this even grows in a lot of our backyards, and it's been there. And like I said earlier, we've not even known that it's an edible plant. So completely edible, the leaves as well as the flowers. All right, so again, wild violet, this is one of many plants that can help sustain you in time of food shortages or a time of famine. We are back with another wild edible, okay? So check this out. What we have right here is wild onion. And again, I know many of y'all have seen this just walking down the sidewalk or in a park sometimes. This stuff literally grows everywhere, okay? So it's very similar to what you would see in the grocery store, like your green onions or your shallots. So it's the same shape. It's kind of tubular at the base, and then it tapers down to like a point, okay? Very easily identified and very similar to what you see at the grocery store. Easy to harvest as well. So you can literally just take a stick. All right, and then you want to get to the base of it and just kind of dig it out. All right, so as you see, it even has a small bulb, again, just like what you would see in the grocery store. But again, wild onions. Completely edible from the bulb all the way up to the stalks, all right? Just like the same way you use a green onion. You can dry them out even, make soups, things like that. But again, just an easy to identify wild edible that we all have access to. Stay tuned for more. We are back, another wild edible. So it's a very familiar one. I'm sure everybody knows what this is. Everybody's seen this at some point in time in life, right? The dandelion, easily identified by these bright yellow flowers, and then as well as its leaves, all right? They're kind of serrated, you know, as you see. Dandelions being, again, a wild edible, okay? The greens are very high in various vitamins, okay? I'll be sure to list those. And it's almost has the same taste as, you know, your collard greens or mustard greens. You know, dandelion greens are very edible, very nutritious, and again, available everywhere. You can't walk a block down the sidewalk in a park or your neighborhood or backyard even and not see dandelions, okay? So again, the leaves are edible and kind of similar to how we harvested our wild onion. The root has a lot of medicinal properties, all right? So you can just take a stick, kind of work it up. And you have the root, all right? The root is very good for teas. You can dry this, obviously clean it first, dry it out, boil it. Makes a very good tea for your stomach, to settle your stomach. Also has some additional properties. So again, the dandelion, very easily identifiable. The flowers are edible. Again, the leaves as well as the root, something that you'll want to remember in those times of famine, all right? When food's not available, again, we have all these things around us that we have not known are there. We got to take advantage of the opportunity and learn these things while we have the time. All right, stay tuned. All right, everybody. So another familiar one that I'm sure we've all seen some point in time is clover. All right, these ones are actually pretty big. All right, but clover, easily digestible, very available, easy to identify, and again, an edible, all right, that can sustain you. But the same thing like we had talked about with the dandelion, the stalk, as well as the leaves and the root, all 100% edible. All right, everybody, this is a very beneficial wild edible for foraging. Very beneficial. A very important plant to remember in your foraging journeys is the broadleaf plantain, for two different reasons. Not only is it edible, right? It's easy identified. It has these very broad, round leaves that come to a tapered point. And a lot of times it has somewhat reddish colored stems towards the base. And then it has these veins that go throughout the plant as well. All right, these are all key identifying factors. So again, edible, all right? But also this plant has medicinal properties regarding insect bites. So if you have insect bites, you can actually chew some of this up, all right, and apply it to that bite. Apply it to your mosquito bite, tick bite, anything like that, various biting flies. And it actually helps stop the itching as well as soothes the redness and makes the bump go down. So in closing, there's 3 important tips you want to keep in mind while foraging. 1, you want to know and be familiar with the area where you're finding your edibles. Make sure there's no pesticides or things like that, that is clean, doesn't have a lot of litter, all right? Second of all, you want to make sure while foraging, you're 100% sure on what it is you're identifying before you eat it, okay? Something that can help with this, get you a field guide for plants, all right? Helps to easily identify things. Thirdly, you want to make sure while collecting, you want to wash these things off. Any dirt, may have insects, anything like that, you want to make sure you remove before you can snake. Being prepared minded, let's take advantage of the time that we have to learn these skills. You can get things like a field guide for identifying plants. The internet has tons of available information to further learn these things and getting that knowledge, all right? Stay tuned until next time. We'll be identifying 5 more edible plants. All right, everybody? Take care.